All right, this pose is headstand, and this isn't a big tutorial on how to get into headstand. It's just very quick and dirty how to enter just a basic headstand. There are two kind of beginner-friendly headstands. There's the tripod headstand where you have your hands and the top of your head on the ground. Actually, you can see my dog's in the way. So this would be the base for a tripod headstand with my head and my hands. Um, I actually think that's a little difficult because it puts a lot of pressure on your neck. I'm going to show the bound head headstand, and this is the one I usually practice. It takes a little pressure off of your neck because you can use the strength of your shoulders to help you do that. So for this headstand, you need to make sure your elbows are not too far apart. So I check them by grabbing them with my hands. And this is the correct distance that you want your elbows to be apart. Turn around this way. It's my dog's in the way. So check your distance, and that's where you want your elbows to be. Whenever you place your head into your hands are interlaced, and you want them on, there's a flat part on the top of your head, and then it starts to kind of round. That is where you want to place your hands, is on that part where it's kind of rounded. And then I have my thumbs kind of wrapping around to the back side of my head. So that is your base. So check your distance with your hands and your elbows. Interlace your fingers, and then you place your head into your hands. So whenever you come up into this headstand, you actually are pressing with your shoulders. So I'm going to show what that looks like here. Right now, I'm not using my shoulders at all. And watch the difference now whenever I press into my shoulders and I actually lift my head up off the ground. So whenever you're in this headstand, this is the action that you want. You don't have to lift your head off the ground completely, but if you take most of the weight off of your head and put it into your shoulders, that's going to be a lot more comfortable for your neck. So whenever you're in this headstand, you really want to be pressing into your forearms, and this engages your shoulders so that makes it a little more comfortable for your neck. So phase 2 is you tuck your toes under, straighten your legs, and walk your feet in as close as possible. With any inversion, my trick for you, or my best advice for you, is to not kick in if at all possible. If you can, use just flexibility and strength to tip into the pose. So if your flexibility is limited, let's say you can only lift your leg up to here, you're going to have to kick to get that leg up right above your shoulders. And that's, whenever you're kicking like that, your risk is to go too far forward and then you fall out of the pose, which is fine. That's just part of learning it. But if you can tip into the pose by having flexibility, I strongly recommend you work on that because it will help quite a bit. So I'm going to show the difference here of what that looks like. So you come in, let's say, like I was showing, your flexibility is limited here. If you had more open hamstrings, you could lift your top leg up so much that you can just tip so far forward that your bottom leg floats off the ground. So that is the way that I like to get into headstand. And then you press into your forearms. Remember, pressing into your forearms to lift your head just slightly off the ground if you can, and bring your legs together. Once your legs are together, you keep pressing into your forearms and you can squeeze your legs in towards each other to kind of help with the balance here. And then to come out, I like to split my legs and come on down kind of the same way I came in. So that is the way that I like to get into headstand. I'm going to just show one other option that if that way is too difficult, then this way might be a little easier for you. So you come in the same way, you straighten your legs, you walk in, and you lift you start with lifting one knee into your chest, and then you lift the other knee up. And you can just stay here, or from here you can straighten your legs. But that is another option to come out. You can bend your legs, bring your knees in towards your chest, and bring your legs down. So that is another option. And then lastly, of course, you can use the wall to help you balance. If you, let's say you have the strength and you have the flexibility, but it's very hard for you to balance in the pose, the wall can be a very good friend for you. I use the wall quite often. Now I'm pretty proficient with headstand, though I like to challenge myself and stay away from the wall. But a great way to use the wall is you bring your hands right up to the wall, so you're right up flush against it. And while you come into your headstand on the wall, really activate everything. So you're pressing into your forearms, you're squeezing your core, and you're squeezing your legs together too. You really want to squeeze your legs. And what you will do eventually is you'll work your way away from the wall. So you do that same movement, but instead of being right up on the wall, you're 6 inches away, or a foot away, or 2 feet away, and so on until you're in the middle of the room. So I hope that this helps you to get into a headstand if you're working on it. I really appreciate you watching my video, and I will be back with more.